Good morning, welcome back to Kigali Keys. Today I'm going to be taking the strings off the piano. I've never done this before, so I thought I'd approach it logically. I'm going to be going in the direction that you usually tune a piano, so I'm going mid-section, treble, bass section. Now, the wires on a tuning pin are coiled round 3 times. So you have to release the tension across the string frame evenly. So that means several passes. I'll be doing midsection treble bass, midsection treble bass, and keep going until I've wound down all the strings and release that tension. And then I'll be using some tools to help me to take the strings off the tuning pins. And once we've done that, I'm going to be labelling all of the strings as I did with the keys, so that we can remember exactly which part goes with which key. Now, it's unlikely that I'm ever going to be putting these old strings back in this piano. I'd like in the future, if I rebuild her, to replace those with new strings, possibly new pins, and make everything brand new. But what that will do is it means that when we come to order the strings for our new piano and for rebuilding Lyrica, we can measure those strings so that we know exactly what we need to order. And that's quite important on the bass section, because those have a different thickness copper wire wound around a core wire. So you need to know those dimensions. So let's get started. So these are the tuning pins that we need to loosen. There's 220 in total in this piano. We've got 45 in the bass section, 79 in the mid section, and 96 in the treble. So it's going to take us a while to get through this. What I'm using is a special custom-made square tuning pin bit, which fits into a ratchet, a 2-way ratchet. And this was actually made by Alex specifically for this piano. Traditionally, tuning hammers look like this, and they've got a standard star-shape socket wrench. And the problem that you can sometimes have with that is they can be very good, but they can also start to strip the edges of the tuning pin. And once that happens, you can't then tune that pin anymore. So if you can actually get hold of a square socket wrench, then that means it won't destroy the tuning pin over time. So I'm going to take this very slowly, pin by pin. Maybe start with half a let off at a go, half a turn at a go. Oh, you can hear that detuning. Okay, I'm done. 220 tuning pins. Thankfully, it seems it only needed 1 pass. I'm confident that everything is loose now. I was a bit worried that the bass strings wouldn't hold the tension of the other 2 sections once they were released, but no problem at all, not an issue. Now I'm going to start taking the pins, the wire out of the pins. You do need quite a bit of physical strength to work with pianos. Okay, I know that you can't see exactly what I'm doing here, but as I showed you before, through each one of these tuning pins is a little piece of metal called the becket. And what I'm trying to do is to twist each tuning pin until the becket is vertical, and then using a combination of this neat little tool and my trusty pliers, I'm trying to loosen the becket out and pull the string coils off. The protective glasses aren't actually necessary, but just until I know how the wire is going to behave, I'm just taking a little extra precaution. I am a bit accident prone. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can get the camera up. You might be able to see them. And there we go. That's the first wire off the piano. And then I'm going to go down below and unhook it from its fretboard and pins, and then label it. And then we're going to go forward from there. Okay, so that's the bass section off, but we're still left with this one string here, which has got the problem I mentioned of the stripped tuning pins, so I can't unwind it. The only option I've really got is to cut it. Because it's still holding quite a bit of tension, I've put some gloves on to protect my hands, and let's see if we can do this. Quite difficult to get my hands in there, so I'd like to cut it a bit higher, but I think I'm going to have to cut it low. There we go. And I'll just tidy this up here. And that's all of them done. Okay, so here in the midsection it starts to get a little bit more tricky because each of these strings has a unison, which means that there are 3 strings for each tuning pin. So each time we're changing a wire, it starts to take a lot more effort to get in there. Here we go. And unlike the bass strings, which are usually just one string going all the way down, these ones tend to be wrapped around at the bottom like that. So one string does for 2 tuning pins. So when you've got 3, you've often got 2 pins sharing one string, and then 1 pin sharing a string with the note next to it. Okay, we're done. A completely stringless piano. I'll just take you in for a quick look. There we go. All of the strings have now been removed and in a nice big pile over here. So the only thing left now is to take out all of the tuning pins, and then we're done for the day. I've had a bit of a tuning mishap. I've now got a tuning pin stuck in the tuning hammer, and I have tried everything to get it out, and it's not going to go. So we're now stuck with the ratchet tuner rather than the manual one, but shouldn't be a big deal. They don't all come out as easily as that, but that's what a tuning pin looks like. It's almost as long as my finger, and it's quite hot actually once it's come out because of all of the friction. There we go. Right, I am done for the day. I am completely knackered. I've managed to take all of the strings off the piano, which is a really big achievement, but the tuning pins are defeating me. They are really hard to take out. Some of them have been stripped so they're not turning properly. Some of them are coming halfway out and not the whole way, and I think that the thread isn't catching properly. So I think it would take me a couple of weeks to get all of the tuning pins out. So I'm not entirely sure what to do, but Desiree's coming on Thursday, so that's going to be our next video hopefully, and he's going to take all of the wooden parts of the piano and hopefully leave me with the string frame for Alex. I'm fairly confident that we can lift the string frame out over the top of the tuning pins. If not, we've got a problem, but fingers crossed we can do that, and then we can take our time figuring out how to get the pins out in a slightly more efficient manner. Otherwise I think I'm going to have arms like Popeye if I carry on like this. So yeah, that's hopefully the last video of me taking apart the piano, and from now on we're going to start looking at how we can build our own. So keep watching. Hi, sorry, one last thing that I forgot to mention. The tuning pins, the ones that we have managed to get out, there will be a limited number of these that we will be turning into necklace pendants, which you can get if you are donating to our Indiegogo campaign. So there's only a few of these that we're going to be turning into pendants, and it's one of the original tuning pins from our 1968 Lyrica, which is going to become the mother of all pianos in Rwanda. So it's quite a special gift. If you want to donate, you can follow the link at the bottom of this video.